Welcome to another Castle podcast where we don't have your princess, but we have your podcast. Hello guys, how you doing? I missed you guys very much. I am back. It's been a couple weeks since the last episode, and a lot's happened. We've had the Game Awards, we had Black Friday stuff, we had a bunch of cool stuff happen, so I decided it was time to talk to you guys. I finally got some rest. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had a safe Black Friday. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. Stuff I just aforementioned. So please, enjoy this music. I've trying to been downloading... that wasn't English. I tried to be downloading. I have been downloading songs to put in here. Because it's fun. And I'm not going to mention what the songs are like I did last episode. So that way, if you know, you know. It's more fun that way. But, yeah. We're going to talk about that stuff with the Black Fridays and the Game Awards and the Xbox and everything like that. I got something on Black Friday I'm going to talk to you guys about. Here we go. Okay, there's that music, the intro music. Hey everyone, it's been a little bit since I talked to everyone. It's been since before Thanksgiving, before Black Friday, before the Game Awards, before all the Game of the Year website action and all the sites that are on the web started saying stuff. A lot of surprises. A lot of games I didn't have on my radar now are. Wow, I don't know. Well, I'll start at the beginning. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I did. It was good. Ate, saw family, stayed at my brother's place, talked video games, and then right after everyone was done eating, everyone went Black Friday shopping. Just went down to the stores to see what we could find. Hit up all the big major ones for all the nerd shit that I wanted, which is, the typical Walmart, your GameStop, Best Buy, Target, all that fun stuff. And I was in Indiana, and there's a town in Indiana. If anyone knows where Kokomo's at, shout out to Kokomo. I don't know why. My uncle always called it Omacock, because that's Kokomo backwards, and it makes me giggle, so I just said it to your ears. They had decent deals. They were all the same. I mean, once you see the initial set of all the deals and all the stuff, whatever, I gave you guys all the deals on the last show, and nothing really changed. There's no, day of crazy things or whatever. But I did grab a PlayStation 4. So anyone that sent me a message saying I don't talk about PlayStation enough, I'm now back in that ecosystem. I have my Switch, I have my PS4 Slim, and vibration. And I have... Oh, okay, that was weird. Sorry, guys. I'm hitting buttons. I'm doing stuff. No, I got my PlayStation 4, so now I have my Switch, a PS4 Slim 1 terabyte, and then my OG Day 1 Xbox One with a 2 terabyte hard drive on it. And, thanks to a good friend at work... he let me borrow his Super Nintendo Mini, which I've been dying to play, because I've said it multiple times, I think, on the podcast. I've said it to other people. I kind of missed out on the Super Nintendo, and those games age so fucking well. They, even playing them on my Switch, I'm having a blast playing Super Mario World online. I never thought that, but... even back when the Game Boy Advance SP came out back in probably like 2001, I was working at Target, and it was a blast playing those Super Nintendo games because they pretty much just started porting a bunch of Super Nintendo games to the Game Boy Advance SP. And I loved it, and I've liked them ever since. It's been something I've been able to... Because retro games are that weird monster where it's like, yeah, hey, one of my all-time favorite games is Metal Gear Solid, but does the game age well enough for you to be able to go back and play it? And the answer with Super Nintendo is always yes. I mean, Link to the Past still looks like it could be a game that came out today. Sorry, you guys are hearing the cars. My dog's probably gonna bark. My fridge is on. It's me. It's just what I do. And I'm just gonna sit here in the living room. Sorry. Hopefully you guys don't hear all that. At my undisclosed location in Ohio. But anyways, my friend let me borrow the Super Nintendo Mini, so I'm in that ecosystem now, because there's games on there that aren't on the Switch. One of the main games is Earthbound, which happens to be my friend Ryan's, who let me borrow it. It happens to be one of his favorite games. I started it tonight. I've watched the Angry Video Game Nerd video on it, so I know the majority of it. And I still started it and was surprised at how good it was right out of the gate and how some of that stuff wasn't covered. So I'm happy because it means I'm just going to get more surprises from this game. It's fun. I got in that PlayStation ecosystem and immediately just got all the exclusives I could, because that's really one of the driving forces the last couple years for PlayStation. Well, about the past, 3-ish, 4 years. With PlayStation is the exclusives. So I got your God of War, I got your Spider-Man, I rebought The Last of Us, I think now for the third time. All those games, whatever, Horizon, Zero Dawn or whatever, is the only one I didn't get. But it's $10, I'll get it. Oh, and then Persona 5, my brother has it, I'm going to borrow it, I'm eventually going to play it. So I did that, and I just beat Spider-Man, and I'm thoroughly surprised. I haven't been surprised by a game in a while. So I was surprised, because when you watch that game be played, and I'm streaming on Twitch now, I can't figure out my YouTube stuff, and it took me a while to get my Twitch stuff set up. I had to go into some settings and do some troubleshooting. But I am streaming on Twitch now via my PlayStation 4. That is twitch.tv/Zarnold85. Zarnold 85. I'm pretty sure it's Zarnold 85. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm getting that mixed up with the PlayStation name or not. But anyways, Xbox, I'll be streaming on Mixer. PlayStation will be Twitch. Switch, I'm not streaming at all right now. No PC to handle it, so sorry. But no, was thoroughly surprised. Beat that. Gonna start Earthbound, mess around with that. I was thoroughly surprised, because when you watch the gameplay of that, it just kind of looks like another Spider-Man game. Like, I still have Amazing Spider-Man 2 for my Xbox because I've got it digitally, and so I popped it in and I was like, yeah, this is a good game. I'm not sure, and I'm very picky about Spider-Man games because I still own my OG Spider-Man 2 on my OG Xbox. And then I got Spider-Man 2 for my Xbox One, because those are the two main ones where your web connects with something when you swing, and that's a big deal to me when I play a Spider-Man game. I don't know why. I guess I just don't like the floating cloud Spider-Man games where you can just zip, 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 and I'm like, where the fuck am I connecting to? This is, I want realism in my Spider-Man games. I'm only walking on fucking walls and stuff. I need my realism. But no, love that game. It was great. Took me a while. Had fun streaming it, having a couple drinks, and just slinging around and fighting Kingpin and Doc Ock and all those fun guys. I started God of War a couple years ago. My save file is not on my PlayStation. I have a couple quirks with PlayStation that I kind of but I started a new file up. So I'm gonna probably kill that one, because I want to know the story, because there's inevitably going to be 2. But to end this little part, tell you guys about my Black Friday. We went and kind of saw the deals, was thinking about it, was thinking about PlayStation, knew I could afford it technically. It would just, I'd have to work a couple more hours to get everything paid off or whatever. It'd take me a couple weeks. And then um, I just kind of said no. I'm not going to deal with it now. It's okay. This is all Thursday night. This is, Thursday. Because the last several years, I've considered Black Friday right after Thanksgiving. I mean, like, the same night as Thanksgiving. Because all the stores open up and give you the same deals. Which I think is for a safety concern, so people aren't, there actually is BlackFridayDeath.com or BlackFriday.com or something like that, where it's like a death counter because people have died during Black Friday, which is horrific, but I think that's why these stores are doing it. So I just considered that Black Friday. And so I saw that all these stores had a ton of those PlayStation deals, and I'm like, they're probably going to continue this throughout the course of the holiday season, so I'll have time, whatever. I'm not worried about it. Which the deal was, which I told you guys last show, is it's $1.99, and you get your PlayStation 4 Slim 1 terabyte, which I did not know does HDR. Not 4K, but it does do HDR, which is a nice surprise. Did not know that the Slim did that, which is ignorance on my part. But, and then you get God of War, Last of Us Remastered, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And then they had all the exclusives for like $10, which is a steal. I mean, Spider-Man's a year old, and $10? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, as it goes on and on and on, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, I don't really technically have the money right now. I mean, I could have it in a couple weeks, blah, 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 whatever. My brother goes, no, man, I got a PlayStation. My other brother, one of my other brothers got that deal that night, and I saw it, and I was like, I need to get back in that ecosystem. If I'm going to have this podcast and I'm going to talk about games, I need to have the 3 main cores system so I can not be in the dark and know what the hell I'm talking about. Because I had a PS4 when it first launched, and I need another one. So that was 2014, the last time I had one. So I wanted to be able to connect with everyone, because people at the TV station I work at, majority is on PlayStation. So I was just like, I want to be able to play with everyone. I don't want to be left out of a conversation. So boom, brother says, you know what, man, I got some money. Here, I'll loan you some money, pay me back in like a week or so, and then just go get one. So I'm like, fine. So 2 of my brothers got Vitas, because they're trying to get, one of my brothers is trying to get like as many systems as possible, get a good collection going, and my other one wanted it and missed his, so they got that on Black Friday on Thursday night. Fast forward, Friday during the day, realized the Vita needs a memory card. You know how hard it is to find a Sony proprietary PlayStation Vita memory card? It sucks. Luckily, we checked online, GameStop had them, so we had to drive 40 minutes to one GameStop, get it, and 40 minutes to the other GameStop and get it. So that we did that, whatever. We got into kind of a dispute with one of the GameStop employees because we were trying to find the real charger, because only one of the Vitas came with the real charger. The other one came with the proprietary cord that goes to it, but no actual brick and then plug to the wall. And he insisted that didn't exist. The Vita's just used like a regular phone, like the block part that you plug in. Not the actual cable, but just like what you would get with your phone that has a little USB thing on it. And we insisted, no, not only did I have one day one, a Vita, but we just got one the night before that had that cable with it. And he goes, oh, that's just a Sony cable. We had to say, no, it literally says PlayStation Vita on the brick, on the power conversion brick that's in the center of this big long cable. Anyways, we got that. And so we were just going to hop over to Walmart, and I was going to pick up that deal because we saw tons of them. We saw tons of that PlayStation boxed-in deal everywhere the night before. And I'm like, well, I hope they still honor that deal. Not realizing, oh shit, you idiot. Today is actually Black Friday. Yes, there's a lot of people that are out getting those deals early, but also a lot of people are going to wake up in the morning and then they're going to go get the deals. So we went to Walmart. They were out. So I'm like, okay, well, we got to go to this other town anyway. There's a Walmart and a Target and Best Buy there. One of those stores has to have them, right? And another GameStop. So we go to the GameStop, we get the Vita card, ask him, hey, do you have that $200 PS4 deal? Oh, no, sold out. So we check their website. Every GameStop is sold out. Okay, so we go to Target because it's connected to the mall that was there. They're sold out. Get online, check all the Targets. They're all sold out. So I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. I'll eventually get a PlayStation, or I won't, and I'll just try to get a PS5. Then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, no, you know what? I borrowed the money. I have a plan in action. I want to get one. So we go to the Walmart in this new town. They're sold out. We go to the Best Buy, where there was literally like the night before. I mean, okay, it doesn't sound like a lot when you think about it, because, you know, say the town is 20,000 people or something. Then, I mean, I saw probably 50 on the floor, thinking that's a lot. Well, no. So we go there, they're sold out. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. Luckily, the brother that went with me, while I'm talking to the other brother who loaned me the money, I'm just like, hey man, I'm just going to send this back to you. They didn't have it. It's whatever. Thank you. Blah, 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 whatever. And so my brother goes, wait a second. They have a PS4 Slim 1 terabyte in there, but it's like refurbished or used. And I was just like, well, I don't give a shit. They guarantee that as a brand new system. So it's just as good to me as a brand new system. How much is it? And he goes, well, it's $189.99. So I'm just like, are you serious? It's $10 cheaper than the deal? And I was like, wait a second. It comes with those 3 games. Those 3 games are only $30 combined. So you're telling me it only saves you $20? I'm like, well, what the fuck? Okay, let's go in there. So we'd already been in this GameStop before, asked them if they had the deal. They said they were sold out. And I said, do you have any other PS4 deals? They said no. Maybe they forgot that the PS4s just are naturally priced at $189. So I walk in and I ask him, I was like, hey, how much is it for a brand new PS4 Slim, 1 terabyte? And he goes, $299. And so I go, okay, well, it says you have one in stock that's used for $189. Is it really $110 cheaper? And he goes, oh, yeah, let me go check. And he finds it. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Well, I also want a copy of God of War and Last of Us. So he finds it and goes, yeah. And I was like, I literally just recreated the same deal, and I'm spending $10 more. That's it. And he's like, yeah, but you get a new system. And I said, well, is there really a difference? You guys guarantee this system. And he goes, yeah, I guess you're right. There really technically isn't a difference unless that's a big deal to you. And I said, nope. So I grabbed that, and then my brother was just going to sell me his copy of Spider-Man. So I was just like, okay, fine. So I bought it off him for like $10, and that's how I got my PlayStation 4. Came back home to Ohio, hooked it up, and then went straight to work, and then came home, and I've been plowing through Spider-Man ever since. And I've been having a blast with it. I've been reconnecting with people, and I'm just really, really overall gaming happy, because now I feel like there's no excuse. I have a ton of things to play, which leads to a new problem of having too much to play, so you don't play anything. You just end up going on YouTube and fall down a YouTube hole, and then I gotta go to bed. But yeah, so I'm happy to be on that ecosystem. If anyone wants to add me, my name on there is Zarnold85, same as the Twitch name. So that's fun. And if you still want to add me on Xbox, it's Thriller Daddy. That's 2 words. And then Switch, I don't know, I have a friend code. I'll post it somewhere. It's a big, long friend code. Nintendo, please get gamer tags, please. All right, let's get to some news. I love going through all this classic video game music and adding it in. It's so fun. Okay, let's just jump into it. Game of the year stuff that's happening. Let me see what I have in my little notes that I have here. The game of the year stuff that's going around. Kind of surprised. As you guys know, I'm kind of an IGN fanboy. I like that site. I take everything with a grain of salt. I don't go to websites for reviews. I'll check something out just to see what people say, but I don't base my reviews off anything. I know that's one of the bigger problems people have with those outlets is, you know, reviews and bias and who's doing what and whatever, and, you know, every website's had their shakeup. But I was kind of surprised with IGN, I'm not sure. I've not checked Kotaku. I will here in a second. But IGN's game of the year was Control. Now this is a game I've heard the name a couple of times. I didn't know if it was an indie game or if it was more retro, which would fit within the indie realm, or what was going on with it. Uh, and I didn't realize I love the studio that makes it. They've made some of my favorite games, but I I just kind of heard the name a little bit and was just like whatever. And then it wins. And then I start hearing the testimonials of people that voted for it, and they're just like, "Oh, this and this and this." But I've heard those people talk about other games, actually nothing but other games. And then I started hearing that Control didn't have a large marketing budget, and all this kind of fun stuff. But maybe that's why I didn't hear about it. But then again, like they don't need a marketing budget for. If people are liking this game enough to vote for it for Game of the Year, then I mean, talk about it on your podcast. Like I didn't hear shit about it. But yeah, Control won for them, um, which is kind of surprising. Resident Evil 2 was up there with a lot of people. Some people had their darlings. Outer Worlds was up there with some people. Outer Wilds was up there for some people. I don't know. There was several good games this year, but yeah, Control won for them. And come to find out, it looks really, really fucking cool. Like you can control stuff. Um, you have like is it telekinesis? No, that's where you can read minds. Telekinetic. You can pick up objects, throw them, stuff like that, whatever. And apparently this mechanic works so well that the developers just keep throwing it in the game. But all the gameplay looks really cool, and everyone talks about the story elements being very cool, and it's something I really want to get into. And then something interesting happened. Um, Someone had started mentioning it coming to Game Pass, so I got kind of excited. And then Phil Spencer himself, the head of Xbox, if you didn't know, he himself tweeted out, "Can't wait to welcome Control to the Game Pass family, blah, 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 whatever, this and that." Then the developers had to tweet out and said, "Sorry, Phil Spencer, we don't know what you're talking about with Game Pass, blah, blah, blah." Which just leads me to believe if Phil Spencer is not going to mistalk about games, especially with a service like that, um, maybe it's coming like super soon, and maybe he wasn't too in tune with their marketing people, because obviously they don't really have much of a marketing section, because I've not been seeing any kind of stuff for it. But and all I've seen is Death Stranding stuff, so I was just like, well, this is a shoe-in. So, but of course Death Stranding didn't win either. But they said no, whatever. So what I took away with it, and a lot of people did too, is that they just want to make some money off actual hardcore sales, which I think GameStop is down to like $25 as a Black Friday or holiday special. But I think they wanted to make as much money there before it went to Game Pass. So I still think it's coming to Game Pass, which kind of sucks, because now I'm going to hold off and play it when it comes to that, or see more about it, see what's going on with it. But now I definitely want to play it. That's definitely on my radar. But yeah, that one won. And then for the Game Awards, Sekiro won. And that was kind of surprising. I mean, it looked like a great game, but I just hadn't heard much hype for it after it was out or before it was out. Like, people mentioned it, and of course they compare it to all the classics, the Ninja Gaidens, oh fuck, I can't remember the name of the game that they compared it to. Dark Souls. God damn, how did I forget that? My mind's slipping. But yeah, it got the Dark Souls comparison. It got the Ninja Gaiden, the hard game. I watched Jared stream it and play whatever, and it looked like great, actually thinking combat, where you have to think about your next move and watch enemies and all that kind of fun video gamey strategy stuff, which I like. But it did seem kind of a little niche. But then again, it's whatever, it did whatever. But yeah, that won, and I kind of thought a biased Jeff Keighley would shoehorn Death Stranding in there as Game of the Year, even though that game has been highly divided as far as what people think about it. Not just reviews, but just me your random Joe Blow or whatever talking about it being a walking simulator and not very interesting if you're looking at it as a gameplay standpoint versus a story standpoint. But then again, it's one of those situations to where, like, I thought I knew what I was expecting when I was going in to start playing Earthbound, and I'm totally surprised by it. So I don't know, I might be surprised by it. I'm definitely going to rent it here when I get a little more free time. Get some of these back games out of the back catalog played. But yeah, I didn't see that one coming at all. That was kind of odd. But of course, like some games that I wanted to win won, like Apex Legends won. I think they should get some. I thought that they should get recognized for that, even though it came out way earlier this year. It's still this year because Respawn has been killing it. I mean, they're 2 for 2 this year with Apex and then Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm not surprised that didn't win any game of the year. Well, it might have won some smaller stuff, some smaller game of the years, but I'm just not surprised because, like, whether or not it's a good game, you have to be interested in Star Wars. You know, that's the only downfall with that game. It's the same thing as like a Batman Arkham series. They're great games, great mechanics, they're super fun. You still got to be interested in Batman to play them. You know what I mean? Or willing to get interested in Batman to play those games. You know, it's not like it's all new, like a Cyberpunk or something, where people are going in. Well, I mean, there's other Cyberpunks, but going into this one or going to a new IP with a fresh set of eyes and everyone's experience together, like a Death Stranding or something. So that's I think that's the only downfall to that game. But yeah, Respawn. I'm glad they got recognized for that game because they deserve it. That game got me back into battle royales and just I kept coming back to it because I'd start to play PUBG or something else or Fortnite and be like, man, I wish this had what Apex has, or I'm missing what Apex lets me do versus what this game lets me do. But yeah, I'm pretty surprised that was the game of the year. Good for them. That's great. I'm happy about it. But yeah, all that kind of fun stuff happened. But I'm trying to see if any other places got to their games of the year. Sorry if you can hear that. I am so not prepared right now. It looks like Kotaku just did their individual people. Yeah, they're just kind of going through their different random people, their list of people, whatever. So, not definitive. This is our game of the year type of thing. So, yeah, it's whatever. I'm not surprised by that. Yeah, Sekiro and winning and all that kind of stuff. That's whatever. But the Game Awards was pretty good as far as announcements go. So let's talk announcements from the Game Awards. Oh, it's so much fun having the music. Okay, so Game Awards, stuff like that. The announcements. There are some decent announcements. I did not expect the damn new Xbox to be revealed at the damn Game Awards. I thought there could be a tease or maybe just the name. No. We got the new controller, got the look of the system, the name, what it does. Phil Spencer was on fucking stage. I went to go pee. I came back out. Fucking Spencer's on my TV telling me what's going on. And I'm like, what? Here's my cold hardcore take on it. Xbox Series X, didn't like it. The design, wasn't a fan. The name, didn't like it at all. My reason why is because I've always been a fan of simplifying it. And it seems like Xbox and Nintendo just do not want to simplify stuff. Now, the Switch, since they got away from the Wii U preface, like for the name, okay, they got a fresh start with that. Everyone knows that's the new system, that's the thing. Hopefully they don't fuck it up, but they did with the Wii U, and I love that system, but I think that's what tanked it. because the marketing was very confusing. The name Wii was weird too. But anyways, Xbox is always, I mean, the 360 got it. Okay, you had the Xbox and the 360. The One, didn't like it. Got used to it. Just like Xbox One. The same confusion and the same argument I have every year that we get a new announcement for a system, which is, like every, 7 years-ish. I feel sorry for the grandparents and the parents who are not tech savvy, who don't care about games, who didn't grow up in that era or give a shit, or or maybe they just not involved in what their kids are doing. Bad parents. Is that they go to their GameStop, they go to their Walmart, they go to their Target, they go online, they go on Amazon, they go somewhere, and all they hear is Xbox X. So now, next holiday season, there's going to be the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X. I don't like that, because I think that's going to cause confusion and it's going to hurt them in the long run. Now, okay, maybe not the long run. I take that. I retract that. In the long run, I think it will help them out, because I read an interview with Phil Spencer from Business Insider where he said that now they're going to be able to just, from what I understood, it's just Xbox, and then they have different descriptors. So this is the Series X Xbox. Still can be confusing. I think Phil in the driver's seat, because he wasn't in the driver's seat when the Xbox One was announced, so he wasn't in charge of that. And I think he's been slowly fixing stuff, so I think this is a way for him to fix it. He said it's going to allow him to put descriptors in the console names. So it would be Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series, whatever. So you can go and I want the Xbox. Which one do you want? Okay, I want the Series X. Oh, okay, I want the stuff like that. I think that should be easy. Now, PlayStation nails it every year just because it's PS5, the next one, But I just worry that's going to happen, because now the SKUs they have on the shelves is going to be the Xbox One S, the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, the Xbox One X, and then the Xbox Series X. Now, I thought, and everything I've read and heard, is that Xbox was supposed to release what they're calling Anaconda, which I'm guessing is the Series X now, which is like their premier top-line system, like 8K graphics, the 12 teraflops, the whole nine. And then they were going to release one called Lockhart, and reportedly that was going to be the kind of the all-digital, like no optical drive, which would drop the price. Some people were hoping it was going to be down to $350 and the Xbox Series X would be $500. I think it's going to be like a $50 difference, because when they released the all-digital Xbox One S, I was like, well, fucking put that at $150, and it was only $50 cheaper than the one with the optical drive, so you could watch 4K Blu-rays. So I was like, well, that's stupid. So I don't know, but apparently this is the only SKU I guess they're releasing next holiday, is just the Series X, which is whatever. Now I warmed up to the name because of that, because I feel like going forward, okay, now I'm talking correctly. In the long run, this will help them, because they're eventually going to phase out the Xbox One, which I'm okay with, because another announcement that was made a day after, and he hinted at it at the Game Awards, is all peripherals and games and everything backwards compatible. They're day one. Your controllers, all your stuff backwards compatible, which, as far as I know, is a first, which is cool as fuck to me, because I mean, yeah, for trade-in value, I can sell that or whatever, but if someone already has a couple controllers and I want to get rid of my system and keep one or do whatever, or buy another controller or do whatever, it's cool. From what I see with the new controllers, there is a share button on there, which is just them getting in touch with the times. Because I did like saying, Xbox record that, because there was no button. But now I've got used to the share button on the PlayStation and the Switch. It's just very easy just to flick my thumb over and just boop. And I've customized my share button on my PlayStation, so I can record clips very easily and stuff like that, and I have to worry about talking. Even though I do have to take my thumbs off the control, or off the, wherever they should be, I have to take them off, which is kind of annoying. It was nice to use my voice, but this is just more, it's just more dedicated, and it's guaranteed to work. Because there's a couple times I had to yell Xbox record that several times. But no, I warmed up to that, and then the idea of it all being backwards compatible, whatever. And then I saw the tower design, and there was a controller in front of it, and I think that was supposed to show scale, but then again, you never know. So I got worried, holy shit, will this fit under my TV? And then I think it was IGN, or it might have been Xbox official account. They on Instagram posted a size comparison of the other systems like on their side and stuff like that. And this is, if you took an Xbox One X, which is relatively small, I think it's a tad bit smaller than a PS5 Slim. I mean, like width wise, and you laid an Xbox Series X on top of it, it would be smaller. So I'm like, okay, this should still fit under my TV, which is good. And it looks like the design is built around a cooling system. I hope it's all in one. I hope there's no power adapter brick. I hope that's all included inside the system, like they did with the S and the X. But no, overall, I warmed up to it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm on board. I think this is a cool step forward. If they're just called Xbox and then they have these sub names now, I could get on board with that. That should be fine with me. And then I kind of got worried. I was like, wait a second, is PlayStation going to throw us a weird thing out there? Because I don't know if you guys remember, but several years ago when PS2 or PS3 was coming out, they had these weird TV ads where they teased PS9. So you can look those up on Google, or Google them or look them up on YouTube. But yeah, they have these old ads where it showed like PS9 and stuff like that. So I think that was like a premonition deal that they'll at least go to PlayStation 9. Which is fine with me. It's simple. It works for them. Works for everyone else. You know, number system can't beat it. It's whatever. That stuff all got fucking announced, and that one kind of threw me for a loop because I did not expect that to happen. Period. At all. And I was worried about backwards compatibility, so you know, I was hoping that was whatever, but. But yeah. I mean, looking over his interview, but yeah, he says that Phil Spencer said to Business Insider, the name we're carrying forward to the next generation is just simply Xbox. And at the Game Awards, you saw that the name come to life through the Xbox Series X. So that's good. That's cool. It's whatever. It's holiday 2020. You know. The Series X, I guess it'll allow room for additional consoles in the future. So that's always good. So, you know, I don't know. It says it'll give them freedom to do other things with that name so that we can create descriptors when we need to. So, okay. So, yeah. There. You guys are informed. You're up to date on that. So that's pretty good. Other big news from the Game Awards. I got a big old list. And there's a bunch of niche stuff in here. It's whatever. I was impressed with that they showed the Hellblade 2 announcement. That was a pretty impressive trailer. The face, but then again, you never know. That's not gameplay. So it's just like, okay, cool. You know, I mean, how many times has Ubisoft showed us these gorgeous fucking trailers, and then we get the game, and it's just like, that's not what we were promised. Jetpacks. That's not what you gave us. But Steam had a bunch of releases, I guess, before the Game Awards popped. So, PlayStation 5 game announced is a looter slasher named Godfall. Gearbox is going to be publishing that, and that's going to be on PS5, and it's a PC game. Bravely Default 2 coming to Switch in 2020, and of course being a Switch exclusive. First Riot Forge game, Ruined King, a League of Legends story trailer revealed. I thought that was kind of cool. They're going to expand that world, and they're coming to, I think they're coming to console for that stuff too, so that'd be pretty cool if they do. I still want League on a console. I know it sounds stupid. It works on PC. I bet my laptop would even run it. But it's just, man, it's just, I don't know. PlayerUnknown's announced their next project, Prologue. Um, I guess it's the way they described it was exploration of new technologies and gameplay. So super vague, whatever. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is going to be on game. It's an Xbox exclusive. It's going to be on Game Pass day one because it's an exclusive. It got delayed, so that's going to be out March 11th. I originally thought it was towards the end of January, so that's whatever, I guess. We did see a cool Cyberpunk 2077 deal where they showed like soundtrack stuff or whatever, and had one of my favorite groups ever run the Jewels, so I was excited to hear that. So I was like, okay, that's pretty fucking cool. Not sure what that is. I talked with you guys about the controller for Xbox. Oh yeah, Gears Tactics popped their stuff. That'll be April. And it'll take place more than a decade before the first Gears of War game. So that's kind of cool, for Gears to expand their universe. I'm glad the Coalition is doing them well. They're just adding to the first party stuff on that, which Xbox severely needed because, PlayStation has great exclusives, but this year was, I think, Nintendo's year for exclusives. When you have stuff like Mario Maker and Luigi's Mansion and Fire Emblem, which I just keep hearing great things about. I mean, there were several others. There was tons of Nintendo Switch exclusives. So this was a better year in my opinion. Oh, and Pokemon. How could I fucking forget Pokemon? I always forget Pokemon. They had a great fucking year as far as that go. I know I'm rambling right now, but what I had to think about. Other than that, I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember too many other like massive announcements. We had a lot of game trailers and different stuff like that, but I think announcing and showing a new system is a pretty fucking big deal. I'm excited to see what PlayStation is going to do because there's so many fake knockoffs not knockoffs, fake pictures out there of what the PlayStation 5 is going to be, especially that big V one, which I would be shocked if that was it. I would be absolutely shocked if it was the big V. Like, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. That'd be kind of fucking crazy. And then, I know I'm sneaking this in. I'm looking over my notes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a mess today. Two things about exclusivity that was announced before the Game Awards that I want to talk about was, this is kind of big, MLB The Show. Actually, I won't get into that yet. Final Fantasy VII, that remake, is actually only a timed exclusive for PlayStation, which is good news for Xbox owners. Because during Xbox's OS deal, or the XL19, I mean, there was a ton of like all the Kingdom Hearts, the Final Fantasies. There was a Square Enix fest of stuff that's coming to Game Pass, not just to Xbox, but to Game Pass. So like, if you have Game Pass, it's free. Just you can download them. And so I'm excited to get into that because I've not played any of the remakes of the Kingdom Hearts games, and I kind of want to. And then the Final Fantasy games, yeah. But I was just like, man, if they could just get that remake on Xbox, that would be a big deal. And then they release the box art for the remake, and it says timed exclusive. And then I can't remember if it was Edge or Kotaku or IGN. One of the sites went in and did a little more digging and found out it was a timed exclusive. So that coming to Xbox, I thought was a big deal. It was a big deal to me. But an even bigger deal is MLB The Show is now going to be opened up to other consoles. It will still be a Sony game. It'll still be essentially made by Sony. But that one's going to be opened up to other consoles. And when I saw the press release, I was like, okay, this could be whatever. I'm not sure, not 100% sure if it really is coming, this and that, whatever. But then Nintendo's official Twitter and Xbox's official Twitter both retweeted the same press release. And I'm pretty sure it was Nintendo that put like a little baseball emoji or baseball bat. And then Xbox actually wrote something along the lines of like, it'll be great to join the team or something like that. I'm getting the tweet wrong, but still though, that's an official thing that they're doing, which is kind of, the whole MLB thing is kind of this crazy thing, this crazy story anyway, just because it was this whole EA 2K thing back in the day, and when EA got rights to NFL for Madden, 2K got the rights for fucking MLB, and technically it could be made by any system but 2K and this, and then Sony was the only one that took them up on the offer to do an exclusivity thing with them. And technically Xbox and Nintendo could have made another game, but when you have something like a Madden level quality going into it, I know take Madden level quality with a grain of salt, I guess. When you have something like that going into it, it's just like, oh man, does Microsoft really want to launch one of their studios just to make this baseball game when there's another team out there that's has been making the best baseball game? Granted, one of the only full simulation ones, because you have your RBI games and all that stuff, whatever, but it just wasn't achievable. So the fact this is coming to it is exciting for me, and I really hope, even though it's Sony, I hope that they introduce a crossplay, even just like a cross save. I doubt it, but it'd be nice to be able to do something like that, because the city I live in now has a big baseball presence, and I've been going to more baseball games and getting more involved with that, and I wouldn't mind trying to get more back into at least being able to be involved in a conversation about sports. And I've always had, my NBA 2K series to keep up with that stuff. And then, of course, Madden's on all systems, so it's not hard to keep up with football. But baseball is the one where it's just like, man, for the last several years, I've only had my Xbox. And then, of course, when Switch came out, I got back into the Nintendo realm. And there's just not been a way for me to connect to that. Even something as simple as just playing the game or playing a season or hopping online with a buddy who has it and just picking like my local team and learning players' names through that and different ranges and abilities or stats and stuff. I think that's fun and that's big and that's good for not only sports fans but sports fans that are on Xbox, because I have heard people it being a system seller. It's like, oh, where can I go play all major sports on? And that's been only on PlayStation. People that want they play Madden during a certain time of year, they play NBA during a certain time of year, and then they play baseball during a certain time of year, and they rebuy those games every single year. And the only place you've been able to do that for seems like ever is on PlayStation. So this is good for games as a whole. And here's the thing: it's good for Sony, because just like Microsoft has been doing with letting Minecraft stay on all systems, and then Cuphead went to Switch, and they've enabled crossplay, and them and Nintendo were kind of pioneering this crossplay stuff that eventually got Sony into it, which has just been nothing but good stuff for games. I just don't see the crossplay hurting sales. I think it would help it, because it's going to get someone to buy a game that they normally wouldn't. Because I think if more games were crossplay, even like Call of Duty, it would get, because I have friends that are on PlayStation and they have Call of Duty and I want to play it with them. But at the time I only had Xbox, so I was like, well, I'm not going to buy Call of Duty because I only have Xbox, and the people I know that play that are on PlayStation, and I'm not buying a whole system just to be able to do that. I don't have that type of money. But if it had been crossplay, I would have bought it on my Xbox, and I would have played it with my PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 friends. So crossplay is good. MLB coming over, I think, is really, really good. Because then you have those people that already have the install base on PlayStation that play it. I really hope there's a crossplay feature. So people that are on Xbox can hop on with PlayStation people and whatnot. But now I have a PlayStation, so I could always buy it on that or rent it and see if I like it or whatever. But I thought that was big because it wasn't talked about. There was no leaks about it. There was no rumors, and no one expected it. And people have been asking for it, but it's like people asking for Half-Life 3 or something. You know, of course they're asking for it. No one expected it whatsoever. And then it was announced mainly because of the license holder. Well, I guess that's technically Sony, but the license issuer. You know, pretty much MLB was just like, yeah, if you want to continue this going on, we want to be on all platforms. We want baseball to be on Nintendo. We want baseball to be on Xbox. We see the Switch selling a lot. We see these games doing really well on other platforms. We want to do that. So, no word on PC though, and the word on the street is that no PC, just because of the word they used. I can't remember if they said platforms. They didn't say consoles, but the way that they worded it, everyone was just like, no. If they were going to be on PC, they would have said this, and they did not. The way they said it, so that's a lot of shit. I'm sorry, guys. That's a lot of rambling right there. But I was just trying to get to my notes. It's been a long 2 weeks being away from you guys, so I guess go ahead and just the only other thing I really wanted to talk about, because here's the thing. When I start making notes for these episodes, I feel like, you know, I'll watch different podcasts and I'll listen to stuff and I'll check news sites and I check my Twitter and I do my stuff and all that kind of fun shit. And then I get my notes down and I'm just like, wait, I know I'm forgetting something. I always forget something. But it was talked about. Nothing was announced. It was said as something that's going to be happening in the far future, and that is that there's a new BioShock game coming. I'm excited about that. I like the BioShock series. When it first came out in 2007, it was going up against Halo 3, and I was a massive Halo fan, as was a ton of other people. So I was just like, no, I want Halo to win Game of the Year, BioShock, blah, blah, blah. And I think BioShock actually did win most of the stuff that year, which it rightly deserved. But yeah, and that's really all there is. That's why I mentioned it so late in this thing, is because that's all we have. There is a new BioShock game being made. It's far down the pipeline. It'll definitely be a next-gen game. And I'm pretty excited about that. They got a lot of places to explore. They've done the underwater city. They've done the in-the-air city. Everyone's saying, please don't do space. That was the only consensus I saw. And I wouldn't be mad about space. I wouldn't care. If it was done right, I don't know, I'd be down for it. That'd be pretty cool to me. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. Okay, I told you guys that I have a scrambled brain. And something that I just saw today, actually. I took a nap after that, though. I've slept since then. I can use that excuse. Randomly, real quick. There is still content coming to Battlefront 2, and Star Wars Rise of Skywalker content is coming, and the trailer looks really fucking cool. Now, granted, they've been constantly adding stuff to this title for years, and that's awesome. I love the game. I think if you popped it and played it right now, it'd arguably be one of the best Star Wars games out there. It has a ton of content. It has a great single-player mission or story. It has new DLC that was totally free. It keeps adding stuff to it per movies that are coming out, and tons of characters that are free, and it doesn't take long to earn them, really. The space combat is phenomenal. It throws me back to the Rogue Squadron days on Nintendo 64. And then just like the lightsaber fighting and heroes versus villains, on top of just, straight up third person or first person shooter and Starfighter. Just I think it has tons of shit, and they're adding more to it. Because Rise of Skywalker does come out this week, and I'm super excited. And it had its premiere. It had its premiere last night, and it's all we talked about during commercial breaks on the show today, the show that I work on in TV. And during our commercial breaks, because we're live early in the morning, it's all we talked. It's what we talked about for the most part. And I was texting people about it and sharing stuff. The overall consensus is JJ did it. JJ Abrams completed the Skywalker saga, and a lot of people are happy with it. I'm sure once it's released, and by February, March, we'll start getting real reactions. Because I remember when Last Jedi came out, everyone was like, yeah, fun, great, had a great time making it. And then slowly, even Mark Hamill was like, I'm not sure I know what they think that they know what they're doing with my character. And I know that one's been highly regarded as up in the air. I need to rewatch it again, which I'm going to. I'm going to go see it Thursday night. If I'm still in Ohio, probably 7-something, depending on where I'm at, what's going on, who I see it with. But as of right now, I'm just gonna the one, because I have an AMC account where I get like 3 tickets a week, and I go on there and I'm like, okay, well, I definitely want to see IMAX or Dolby, either the IMAX screen or the Dolby Cinema screen. But then they're all full up until 1:30 a.m. I have to wake up early for work, so I didn't really feel like watching a movie and going straight to work. So I said, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go see it in regular form, whatever, just to know the story and have that out of the way and have the ending out of the way. Then I can go see it, whatever. And the showing the earliest showing I could get to that wasn't full, it was literally awful. There's some handicap open seats because I think they have like their guest seats next to them. Then there was just one seat almost right in the middle. And I was like, fuck it, that's my seat. Boom. Because yes, I will go to movies by myself. And I'm going. And as of right now, I'm going to see this one by myself here in Ohio. If I'm in Indiana, I'll likely go see it with a person I like very much, or one of my siblings, or both might go. But yeah, as of right now, I'm going to go see it by my lonesome on Thursday, I think like 7:15, 7:30. So hopefully the people next to me are nice. They're not weird. Or hopefully no one spoils it coming out of the other showings. But yeah, so all the stuff is good. It's good. It's good. And then you have a couple random people who are kind of shitting on it, but I'm not sure they've seen it because it's just random accounts. And I know this was an invite-only thing, so I don't know if they've seen it. But the overall consensus is there's no reviews allowed yet. I'm pretty sure there's an embargo on that still, but all the initial first impressions is what Disney's allowing are all good, and they all focus on the ending. And I've seen several reports of people saying that they even answer all the questions from Force Awakens and Last Jedi, that it makes sense, and that they end it on a great note, and there's a lot to unpack, and the pacing I've heard is great, that it hits the ground running, and it just keeps going, which I'm excited because I feel like JJ did a good job with pacing and action in the first one. I liked it. It felt great. It felt the same but new. The trailer looks the same way with these really, really cool X-Wing shots that I like. I didn't get that vibe from Last Jedi. And also, too, there's a lot of... It takes place in the same area for like long periods of time. So it's whatever. But, yeah, apparently he did it. And I'm really hoping that this Battlefront 2 content doesn't spoil anything. So hopefully it doesn't get spoiled for you if you're a Star Wars fan and you get to go see it and you enjoy it. Because I'm going to go see it Thursday. I won't say anything. I don't know. What's a good amount of time to not spoil it or talk about endings? A week? 2 weeks? After Christmas? I don't know. Well, no, 2 weeks we'll be well into the new year. God, this month went by fast. Can't remember that. But yeah, if you're a Battlefront 2 owner, I didn't see anything about pricing, but every other update and DLC for Battlefront has been free. And they originally said after the massive, Watergate style shit in the industry when they had loot boxes in that game, they announced that all future DLC would be free, and it has been. So I really hope this is free. There was no talks about pricing on anything I saw. The trailer looked really cool. So if you're a Star Wars fan, man, this is a good week. So that's coming. Actually, fuck. Let me find out if there's a release date, 'cause I didn't see one on the trailer. This guy's a Skywalker. Battlefront 2 release date. It says before the movie. Yeah, it just says before the movie. Oh, good job, Newsweek. Guess I'm not any better. Let me just click on it real quick. Oh, December 17th. Cool. So, fucking today. So guess what I'm doing after I'm done with the podcast? Get on there. So, breaking news, download it now. And like I said, it's a great game. Don't let any of the past shit with loot boxes and bullshit stop you from getting this game. It's really, really good. I think having Battlefront 2 and Fallen Order is just so complementary to each other, because I think they're two of the best Star Wars games that's ever been made. Apart from like KOTOR and stuff like that, which I still have my copy of. But yeah, Rise of Skywalker. So I know that this was more of a rambling episode, and it's whatever, and I usually try to put more breaks in my stuff and do that, but there was just so much ad-libbing and stuff, because there's a lot to talk about with the Xbox stuff, but I didn't want to keep breaking it up, so I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully it was okay. Hopefully I entertained someone out there. I don't know. Made your drive or commute a little bit easier or something like that. But if you want to yell at me for something, please do it. Please do it on Facebook or Twitter. Search up Another Castle Podcast. If you're listening on Anchor, you can just leave messages directly. You can even leave voice messages. I'm going to link to that so you can do it from wherever you're at. So you can comment, do whatever. And if your voice message is cool, or you have a question and you want me to answer stuff, whatever, I'll put your voice message in the episode and answer it for you. So that's always fun to do. But no, I say this every episode. I need to start doing these more. I just get busy, and then this time of the year, and then work, and all that kind of fun stuff, and blah blah blah, whatever. This last 2 weeks was really me just working, getting my PlayStation paid off, and getting holiday money, visiting people, driving a lot, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's been a real interesting week. But I say it every time I do one of these podcasts. I need to do them more often, so that way I can get the news faster, and so they're not as long. I wouldn't mind doing smaller ones about more stuff and releasing them several times a week, so I might do that. I might release just one subject podcast and talk about one thing or two things, and just kind of, throw them out there, maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes tops, whatever. It'd be easier if it was a YouTube video. You just release like a 10-minute video, you're done. Except for the editing, but... Okay, guys. I will talk to you again very soon. Please get on social media. Yell at me, see what's going on. And just please don't forget, this is the only podcast where you can get the power up and win the game.